Hello. Today is day 20. Wow. I'm doing 100 pull-ups every single day to raise money for Alzheimer's disease. As always, I have a link in my description that you can go to and donate to the Alzheimer's Society of Canada. They're an organization they're in Canada and they're also in the United States and I think other places in the world, but they use the money that you donate for Alzheimer's research. The more research they can do, the more information they can get about Alzheimer's, which can help with treatment, it can help with patient care, as well as a possible cure. So your money's not going to waste. It's for a good cause. So please consider it. Any size donation is greatly appreciated. And yeah, if you can't donate, please consider sharing the link to someone who can. It means a lot to me. Every donation, every time I see a donation come in, it puts a smile to my face. So think about it. So, like every video, I'm gonna do 100 pull-ups because that's what it says in the video title. And then, or while I'm doing the pull-ups between each set, I'm going to give a fact about Alzheimer's as well as a prevention method. So, let's get it going. Let's get it popping. Alright. Just get my phone ready for the facts. Alright. Alright. Got it. Okay, so today I'm going to do 7 on the minute again. If you watched last video, I tried to do 10 on the minute and I got humbled hard. So I think it's time to go back to what I can do. But we'll get there one day. Alright. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So, the fact of the day is about early detection through biomarkers. Now, what are biomarkers? Biomarkers are essentially these molecules that you can find in your bloodstream that can let doctors or researchers diagnose you. So, for example, I might be I might be completely wrong, but if a doctor takes some blood work and they see that you have high cholesterol, I think that could be a sign that you have high blood pressure. I could be really wrong, but the point is you have molecules in your bloodstream that can allow doctors to diagnose you for different things. All right, I've done 7, going for 14. Now, so the fact pretty much says it all, what I already said, but biomarkers are measurable biological changes that indicate disease presence or risk. So, for Alzheimer's specifically, key biomarkers include beta amyloid and phosphorylated tau. So, this goes back to like one of the first videos where I talked about amyloid plaques in your brain and tau proteins that build in your brain, and that's what causes the damage and eventually Alzheimer's. So it makes sense that if there are elevated levels in your blood, that there's a chance that you could be developing Alzheimer's. All right, so I've done 14, going for 21. So doctors can detect these through brain imaging or cerebrospinal fluid tests. So, brain imaging or cerebrospinal fluid tests, for short CSF. These tests look for abnormal accumulation of these proteins. Alright, so I've done 21, going for 28. So, to sum up, using brain imaging or CSF or cerebrospinal fluid, doctors are able to test for elevated levels of beta amyloid or phosphorylated tau proteins. And this can tell them, so pretty much if you have an elevated level, it means that your body is producing more of these proteins. If your body is producing more of those proteins, it's possible that you could be developing Alzheimer's. Just because you have an elevated level of this protein or those proteins, it doesn't mean that you're going to get Alzheimer's necessarily, but it's a good indication. All right, done 28, going for 35. Now, new research is developing simpler tests with blood-based biomarkers closest to widespread use. New research is developing simpler tests with blood-based biomarker tests closest to widespread use. Other promising approaches involve examining the retina, vascular changes, sleep patterns, and even saliva or skin samples. Alright, so I've done 35, going for 42. So again, examining the retina, cerebrovascular changes, sleep patterns, saliva, or skin samples are possible promising biomarkers. However, these biomarkers show Alzheimer's related brain changes. However, they cannot yet confirm a diagnosis on their own. So pretty much, there's still a lot of research to be done on this, which is why it's important to donate. But I think it's pretty cool. All right, 42, going for 49. So that's the fact for the day. And the reason why I chose it is because I saw other facts about early detection and how early detection, even if you get diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it helps patients feel almost a sense of relief because it's not a shock and they can kind of see it coming. And it also gives them a sense of control because they have enough time to possibly change their lifestyle habits to hopefully make the symptoms a little less worse. So it's really important to get more research to help with early detection so then these patients can feel more comfortable if they do get diagnosed, which is why it's important to donate. All right, done 49, going for 56. now, for the prevention tip of the day, we're going to talk about intermittent fasting. So, for those who don't know what intermittent fasting is, it's essentially fasting, but for a preset amount of time during the day. So, a very popular one is a 16-hour intermittent fast, where you start eating at noon and you stop eating at 8. So, from 8 until noon the next day, you're not allowed to eat. And you can only drink like water and stuff. All right, 56 down, going for 63. So, intermittent fasting is being studied as a possible way to reduce Alzheimer's disease risk because it affects several biological processes linked to brain health. And here's how it could help. First, it can reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. First, I gotta do pull-ups. So I've done 63, going for 70. So, it can reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Alzheimer's is partly driven by chronic brain inflammation and oxidative damage. Intermittent fasting triggers a mild, controlled stress response in cells called hormesis that boosts antioxidant antioxidant defenses and reduces hormonal inflammation in the brain. Sorry, I'm out of breath, so I can't read very well. All right, so I've done 70, going for 77. Next, it can promote autophagy, or better known as cell cleanup mode. During fasting, the body shifts from storing energy to repair and cleanup mode. This process, called autophagy, clears out damaged proteins and cellular waste, including misfolded proteins like beta amyloid and tau, which are linked to Alzheimer's. So, that's good. All right. 77, going for 84. Next, it improves insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. So poor insulin signaling in the brain, sometimes called type 3 diabetes, is associated with Alzheimer's. Intermittent fasting helps keep blood sugar stable and improves insulin sensitivity, which supports healthy brain cell metabolism. Do I have time for another one? No. So anyways, I got a few more, but you kind of see where I'm getting at. Intermittent fasting is pretty good for you. All right. 84, going for 91. Also, it could boost ketone production for brain energy. When fasting, the liver produces ketones from fats. Ketones can provide an alternative, efficient fuel source for brain cells, which is especially helpful if glucose metabolism is impaired, a common feature in Alzheimer's. It also supports brain plasticity and growth factors. So, intermittent fasting production increases production of brain-derived neurotrophic factors, or BDNF, a protein that supports new neuron growth, stronger synapses, and better memory function. All right, so I think I've done 91. Yeah, I'm gonna do a set of 9 to end her off. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, that's 9. And then 1 for good luck. And that's it. I'm going to finish off these facts. Oh, yeah, the last thing. So, when it comes to research evidence about intermittent fasting with hopes of preventing Alzheimer's, animal studies show that intermittent fasting can reduce amyloid plaque buildup and improves cognitive performance. Human studies are still limited, but early results suggest improved metabolic health, reduced inflammation, and better memory in older adults who follow intermittent fasting. So, pretty much, there's still a lot of research that needs to be done about intermittent fasting. However, it is promising, and it does make you healthier. It is a healthy habit to have. Uh, so, worst case scenario, your health just improves. And typically, if your health is better, you're gonna avoid Alzheimer's anyways. Not say that, anyways. Not saying that if you only do intermittent fasting, you're good, but it will definitely help. It won't hurt. Only thing that you have to be careful with when you fast is that you have to make sure that you're still ingesting the same amount of calories. So let's say you're used to ingesting, I don't know, I'm just gonna say a random number, 3,000 calories in a day. Because you're skipping breakfast, you have to make sure that you get those 3,000 calories within your lunch and supper or dinner. You can also eat snacks in between, but I guess you just want to make sure that you're not in a calorie deficit because you're fasting. I mean, it depends what your goal is. If you're trying to lose weight, I guess that's a different story, because to lose weight you have to be in a calorie deficit. But if you just want to, if you're already healthy, if you're already at a healthy weight, you just want to be healthier, you have to make sure that you're not in a calorie deficit. Also, uh, I will not lie. At the start, intermittent fasting sucks. I've done it before. You get really hungry. A good hack is just chugging water. If you chug water, it makes you less hungry. And you know what? You just get more hydrated, so win-win. But yeah, it's your body usually it takes about a couple of weeks to get used to, but once you get used to it, then it's not as bad. But try it out if you're curious. Look up online like the best ways to do it. But typically, from what I've heard or what I've tried, anyways, is yeah, I don't eat in the morning. I eat at noon, and then I have an 8-hour window to eat. So from 12 to 8, I eat food, and then at 8, I don't eat food, and then from 8 to noon the next day, nothing. And yeah, it works for some people, and others it doesn't. You know, if you're a really active person, like if you work out a lot or you're an athlete, this might not be the best diet for you, because especially if you work out in the morning, like if you're on a school team or something and you have practice in the morning, it's pretty rough being hungry during your workouts. And then let's say you have a workout at 8, and then you work out at 8, and then you have to wait till noon to eat. Like, you need to eat right away after you work out, or else your muscles aren't going to recover as well. So it's really dependent on what your schedule is, what you do. But yeah, anyways, I just went on a huge rant there, but yeah, consider it. Do some research, see if it's right for you. Maybe even talk to your doctor about it. Doesn't hurt. But yeah, that's the video for today. And yeah, if you like this video, like. If you want to comment anything, comment. The more interactions I get, the more people, the more that the algorithm is going to push this video on people. The more views I get, the more potential donations. So it's just a snowball effect. And yeah, so that's it for today. Please subscribe if you want to keep watching these videos, and I'll see you for another 100 pull-ups tomorrow. So see ya.